Ladies and gentlemen, what if the last 10 minutes before you sleep set the stage for your entire next day? What if your focus, your energy, and your inner peace were determined the night before you even opened your eyes? Most people never see the link, but your night and your morning are deeply connected. And once you learn to use these two critical windows, you can change your life in ways you never thought possible. Today we're exploring a powerful 10-minute before bed and 10-minute morning routine that can fundamentally transform how you think, act, and feel. These routines are incredibly simple, yet their effects are profound. They sharpen your focus, build real discipline, and create calm amidst daily chaos. See, chaos. The best part, you need zero special equipment, e-pass or complex methods. Just you, your breath, and 10 minutes of your time. For most people, night and morning just happen to them. At night, they crash into bed carrying the entire weight of the stress from work, frustration from an argument, a mind racing with endless thoughts. Then they wake up already feeling drained, immediately grabbing their phone, rushing out the door, reacting to everything, and wondering why life feels so chaotic and out of control. The core problem is this. If you fall asleep in a state of chaos, you will wake up in that same chaos. A restless mind doesn't get a true reset. It carries that unrest into the new day. This is the invisible cycle of stress and distraction that so many people repeat day after day, but you can break this cycle. Why your day is decided before you even sleep. Imagine your mind is a glass of muddy water all day long. The events, the interactions, the endless stream of thoughts and reactions stir it up, clouding your clarity and leaving you feeling unsettled. Water is thick with the sediment of the day's worries, its minor frustrations, its unexpected challenges, and even its joys, which can be just as agitating in their own way. This constant turning is a natural part of being alive and engaged with the world. But it is in the moments of stillness that follow where true power resides. The night offers this sacred opportunity, a chance for the sediment to settle, for the water to become clear once more, for the reflection upon its surface to be pure and undistorted. But this process is not automatic. It requires a conscious surrender. If you approach sleep while the water is still being violently stirred, if you collapse into bed with the whirlwind of the day still raging within you, then that turbulence does not simply vanish. It remains churning away in the depths of your subconscious throughout the night. You may be unconscious to the world, but that inner storm continues its work, ensuring that you awaken not to a placid, clear pool of potential, but to the same muddy water you left behind. The residue of yesterday's agitation becomes the foundation of tomorrow's experience. This is why your final mental and emotional state before sleep is not a trivial detail. It is the decisive factor that determines the quality of your awakening. It is the architect of your tomorrow. The world operates on a principle of continuity. Nothing truly ends at an arbitrary hour. The energy you carry at the close of one day is the very energy that sees the beginning of the next. It is the undercurrent that flows uninterrupted through the veil of sleep. To believe that sleep acts as a total eraser, a complete reset button, is a misunderstanding of its deeper function. Sleep is a state of processing, of integration, of healing, but it works with the materials you provide it. If you provide it with chaos, it will attempt to mend amidst that chaos, and you will rise with a sense of being patched together, of feeling fragmented and weary before the day has even begun. If you provide it with peace, it can perform its restorative magic on a foundation of calm, and you will rise feeling truly renewed, integrated, and whole. This is not a mystical concept, but a practical one. The thoughts you entertain, the emotions you marinate in, and the mental focus you hold in those last waking moments are like final, powerful commands given to your subconscious mind. This part of your being does not sleep. It is always listening, always receiving, and it accepts these final thoughts as your deepest truth, as the instructions for what to build while you rest. Therefore, the journey toward a better tomorrow does not begin with the alarm clock. It begins with the intentional closing of today. It begins with the recognition that you have the power to command the waters to be still. This is an act of profound authority over your own life. You are not a passive recipient of whatever the day throws at you. You are the active curate in a world By choosing to settle your mind before sleep, you are not merely engaging in a pleasant relaxation technique, you are issuing a decree to the universe about the quality of your existence. You are stating through your actions that peace is your priority, that clarity is your birthright, and that you refuse to carry the burdens of today into the promise of tomorrow. This practice is the ultimate act of faith. Faith that by releasing your grip on what has already transpired, you open yourself to what can beautifully unfold. It is the understanding that your future is not predetermined by external events, but is crafted in the quiet, potent moments before you drift into sleep. You are in essence writing the first and most important chapter of your next day. In those final moments of consciousness, the words you write, whether they are of anxiety and replay or of release and trust, will echo through every hour that follows. So choose them with care, for they are more powerful than you know. The power of the last 10 minutes before bed. In those critical, fragile minutes between the active day and the vulnerability of sleep, you stand at a powerful crossroads. This is a threshold moment, a space in time that holds immense creative potential. The choice presented here is stark and significant. To continue feeding your mind the same diet of noise, worry, and endless mental chatter that characterize the waking hours, or to consciously, deliberately guide it toward a sacred silence. This is not a passive transition. It is an active act of leadership over your own consciousness. Most people simply allow the momentum of the day to carry them right into their pillows, their phones still buzzing with notifications, their minds still replaying arguments or compiling tomorrow's to-do list. In doing so, they unknowingly make a choice. They choose to feed the whirlwind. They offer their subconscious mind a final meal of anxiety, regret, and distraction, and then wonder why their sleep is fitful, filled with restless dreams, and why they awaken feeling as though they never truly rested at all. The energy they carry from such a night is dull, heavy, and defensive, already braced for the next onslaught of the day. But there is another path. You have the power to make a different choice. You can choose to spend just 10 minutes, a seemingly insignificant fraction of your day, consciously unwinding the knots of tension, releasing the grip of the past, and gently guiding your awareness away from the external world and into the tranquil depths of your own being. This is not about adding another task to your evening. It is about the profound art of subtraction. It is about subtracting the weight that does not belong to you, subtracting the opinions that do not serve you, subtracting the problems that cannot be solved in the midnight hour. This act of conscious release is the greatest gift you can give to yourself. It is a gift of a peaceful entry into the realm of sleep, which in turn becomes a powerful, unshakable foundation for the day to come. When you cross the threshold into sleep from a place of inner quiet, you are not fleeing the day. You are integrating it from a place of strength and then moving into a state of pure receptive restoration. The method for this is deceptively simple, yet its effects are profound. It begins with a decision to stop, to physically stop moving, to sit or lie down, and to close your eyes to the external world. This physical act is a command to your nervous system that the time for doing is over and the time for being has begun. Then you can engage in the gentle art of mental review. Allow the events of the day to pass before your mind's eye. But here is the crucial key. You must view them without judgment. See the events not as good or bad, but simply as events that have now passed. See the people not as allies or adversaries, but simply as players in the day drama. Do not linger on any one scene. Do not fuel it with renewed emotion. Simply acknowledge it and with a slow and deliberate exhale, let it go. Imagine each thought, each worry, each memory being carried away on your breath, dissolving into the vastness of the night. You are not analyzing, you are releasing. You are not solving, you are surrendering. This practice tells your entire being, your body, your mind, your spirit that the day is complete. Its account is closed. There is no need to carry its ledger into the sanctuary of the night. After this release, the space you have created within yourself must be filled with something new, something intentional. This is where you turn your focus to the rhythm of your own life force. Your breath, counting 10, slow, deep and conscious breath is enough. This is not a breathing exercise aimed at achieving a certain physiological outcome. It is an act of alignment. It is the conscious connecting of your awareness to the most fundamental rhythm of life itself. With each inhale, you draw in peace. With each exhale, you release any final fragments of resistance. This simple silent practice is the polishing of the mirror of your mind. It wipes away the dust and smudges of the day's events, leaving behind a pristine, clear surface capable of reflecting not the distortions of yesterday, but the perfect potential of tomorrow. When you enter sleep from this place of clear, intentional peace, you are programming your subconscious with instructions for renewal, for strength, and for clarity. You are not hoping for a better day. You are actively, powerfully, and silently commanding it into being. Releasing the weight of the day. The day accumulates within us, not as a series of events, but as a weight, a density that settles in the muscles, in the mind, in the very spirit. We carry it without realizing. This invisible burden, composed of unfinished conversations, small frustrations, unmet expectations, and a constant low hum of demands, it becomes so familiar that we mistake it for ourselves. Believing this accumulated heaviness is simply the price of living, but it is not. It is merely the residue of the day, and like dust on a windowsill, it can be wiped away. The practice of releasing this weight is not a complex esoteric ritual. It is the simplest and most natural thing in the world. It begins with the conscious decision to stop. To truly stop at the threshold of night, this is not merely a physical stopping, but a sensation of all doing. You must command the machinery of your mind to idle, to let the wheels slow their frantic spinning. Find a space of quiet, a chair, the edge of your bed, a spot on the floor, and just sit. Let your body settle into its own architecture of bones and breath. Then close your eyes. This act of closing the eyes is the first powerful declaration of intent. It says, I am turning away from the outer world. I am now looking inward. With the eyes closed, the inner world begins to reveal itself. The events of the day will naturally arise. They will play across the screen of your mind like a film reel. This is not something to fear or resist. It is a process waiting for your conscious direction. The key is to become the witness, the impartial observer in the balcony of your own consciousness. You are not the actor on the stage anymore, reliving each line with the same emotional intensity. You are the audience member watching the performance, aware that it is just a performance, a story that has now reached its conclusion. See the faces that appeared in your day. Hear the words that were spoken. Remember the tasks that were completed and those that were left undone. But here is the essential command. Do not judge. Do not label a scene as good or bad. Do not categorize a moment as a success or a failure. Judgment is the chain that binds the event to you. It is the glue that makes the weight stick. When you judge, you are essentially holding on. You are stating that this event still requires your energy, your opinion, your emotional investment. To release it, you must first divorce it from your opinion of it. See the meeting, the commute, the meal, the conversation simply as phenomena that occur. They are neutral until you charge them with meaning. In this sacred space before sleep, you choose to drain them of that charge, and then you breathe. The breath is the vehicle of release. It is the natural rhythm that can carry away what you no longer need. As a scene from the day plays out in your mind, you simply breathe out. With that exhalation, you imagine the entire scene dissolving, breaking apart into mist, and being carried away on the stream of your breath. You do not need to force it or analyze why it happened or what it meant. You simply let it go. You offer it back to the universe. You breathe in, drawing in a sense of spaciousness and peace, and you breathe out, releasing the specific image, the specific feeling. You move through the tapestry of your day in this manner, thread by thread, gently pulling each one loose and watching it float away. This is not an act of erasure, but of completion. You are not trying to forget the day. You are seeking to complete your relationship with it. You are declaring it finished. This practice is a profound conversation with your soul. You are telling your mind and body with the clarity of action. The day is done. Its account is closed. I do not need to carry its ledger into the sanctuary of the night. I release it all now. I am free. And the feeling that follows is one of indescribable lightness. It is the sensation of putting down a heavy backpack you had forgotten you were carrying. You stand straighter within yourself. The weight was never yours to keep. It was only ever yours to experience and then consciously to let go. The silent practice that prepares your mind for tomorrow. Once the weight of the day has been released, you are left with a rare and precious thing, empty space. The inner clutter has been cleared away. The mental stage has been swept clean. This is a moment of immense potential. For what comes next will fill that space and set the tone for everything that follows. To leave this space vacant is to leave it vulnerable, to allow the random thoughts and worries of the subconscious to drift in and claim it. Therefore, you must consciously and deliberately plant a seed of order and peace in this fertile void. This is not done with effort or struggle, but with the simplest act of all, turning your attention to the breast. This is the silent practice that prepares the mind for tomorrow. It requires no tools, no special knowledge, only your own awareness. After you have completed the review and release of the day's events, you bring your focus to the natural rhythm of your breathing. You are not trying to change it or control it into some perfect pattern. You are simply noticing it. You are becoming aware of the life force that animates you, the constant gentle tide that has been flowing within you since the moment you were born and will continue until your last moment. The instruction is breathtakingly simple. Count 10 slow deep breaths, that is all. Count 1 on the inhale and 1 on the exhale. The simplicity is the very source of its power. In a world of overwhelming complexity, this act is a beacon of pure undiluted simplicity. It is an anchor dropped into the calm waters of your own being. Why 10? Because it is a number that requires just enough attention to hold your focus gently, but not so much that it becomes a strain. It provides a gentle container for your awareness, preventing it from drifting back into the past or spiraling into the future. As you focus on the count, something magical begins to happen. The breath of its own accord begins to deepen and slow. The body, feeling this attentive presence, begins to relax more profoundly. The mind, given this single simple point of focus, begins to settle into a profound quiet. The chatter subsides, the static fades. You are no longer thinking about your breath. You are being with your breath. You are merging with the rhythm of life itself. This silent counting is far more than a relaxation technique. It is an act of inner alchemy. Imagine your mind is a mirror. Throughout the day, this mirror is constantly being breathed upon by the world, by conversations, by screens, by demands, by emotions. Each encounter fogs the glass a little more, until by evening your reflection, your true self, is obscured and distorted. The practice of releasing the day is like wiping the mirror clean of the major condensation, but the subtle film remains. This focused attention on 10 breaths is the final gentle polishing with a soft. It wipes away the finest layer of haze, leaving the glass perfectly clear, pristine and brilliant. When the mirror of your mind is this clear, it can do what it is meant to do, reflect the truth. It does not reflect the distortions of yesterday's worries. It does not reflect the anxiety of tomorrow's uncertainties. It reflects only the perfect, still, and potent reality of the present moment. And it is from this clear reflection that you will greet the morning. You are not preparing for tomorrow by planning it or worrying about it. You're preparing for it by becoming clear. A clear mind does not react to the day with chaos. It responds with clarity. A clear mind is not easily shaken. It sees events for what they are. A clear mind is a creative mind capable of finding solutions and seeing opportunities where a cluttered mind sees only problems. By polishing the mirror of your mind each night, you ensure that the reflection you see in the morning and the reflection you project throughout the day is one of clarity, peace, and inherent strength. You are not hoping for a good day. You are creating the inner conditions that guarantee it. Why morning energy is borrowed from the night before? There is a common and pervasive illusion that the night is a great eraser, that sleep acts as a total system reboot that returns us each morning to a factory setting of pristine energy and untarnished potential. We imagine ourselves shutting down like a computer, all processes terminating only to be powered back on at dawn, fresh and new. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding of how life truly operates. The body is not a machine that stops and starts. It is a continuous flow of energy, consciousness, and being. The river of your existence does not dry up and then reappear anew each morning. It simply flows through the darkened canyon of the night, changing its course, its depth, and its clarity based on the banks that contain it. When you wake up, you are not starting from zero. You are pressing play on the exact same recording you left on pause the night before. The energy, the emotional tone, the subconscious mutterings, they were all still running just beneath the surface of your awareness. The quality of your sleep was not an isolated event. It was the direct and inevitable consequence of the state in which you entered it. If you lay down your head with a mind racing with anxieties, with the unresolved conflicts of the day still churning in your gut, with the blue light of a screen searing images of lack and limitation into your subconscious, then that is the energy you deposited into your night. You essentially handed your inner being a suitcase packed with chaos and said, "Hold this for me while I'm gone." And it does. It holds it all faithfully through the long hours of the night. Your body may rest. Your conscious mind may switch off. But that underlying frequency of stress and disorder continues to vibrate within you. It permeates your rest, turning it into a tense vigil rather than a deep restoration. You may sleep for 8 hours, but you wake up feeling as if you have run a marathon in your dreams because you have been energetically battling the demons you took to bed with you. The fatigue you feel is not from a lack of sleep, it is from the quality of energy that infused your sleep. You are waking up already tired because you never truly laid down your burdens. You merely carried them horizontally for a few hours. Conversely, if you consciously liberty prepared for sleep by settling your mind into a state of peace and trust, you deposited an entirely different energy into the hands of the night. You handed over a suitcase packed with order, serenity, and a quiet confidence. You declared a truce with the world and with yourself. This energy then becomes the medium in which your restoration occurs. Your body, bathed in this frequency of peace, can perform its healing functions unimpeded. Your mind, free from the need to process and defend, can drift into the deep restorative waves of delta sleep. You are not fighting your rest. You are floating within it. Therefore, when you awaken, you are not starting over. You are continuing on a wave of that same peaceful, potent energy. The refreshment you feel is not manufactured the instant your eyes open by caffeine or positive thinking. It is the dividend paid out on the investment you made the night before. Your morning energy is not created in the morning. It is merely collected. It is the interest earned on the capital of calm you deposited at the close of the previous. You are literally borrowing from the peace of the night before. This is why two people can sleep the same number of hours in the same bed and wake up feeling entirely different. One is drawing from an account overflowing with the currency of calm, while the other is attempting to draw from an account that was bankrupted by anxiety before the night even began. The morning does not determine it reveals the truth about your night. The first breath that decides the direction of your day. In the first fragile moments of consciousness, in that hazy, vulnerable space between the dream world and the world of form, you possess a power of immense and disproportionate significance. This moment, often wasted and overlooked, is a critical point of choice, a fork in the road of your entire. It is a moment of pure potential, untainted by the events and demands that will soon come rushing in. How you meet this moment sets a trajectory much like the gentle nudge given to a spacecraft that determines its course among the stars. The automatic habitual response for most of the world is to immediately reach for the smartphone. This single action is one of the most spiritually catastrophic habits of modern life. Before you have even connected with your own being, before you have taken possession of your own consciousness, you willingly hand it over to the outside world. You allow the emails, the news, the social media feeds, the demands and opinions of others to be the very first input into your pristine awareness. You are essentially allowing the world to write its agenda on the blank slate of your new. You are starting your day in a state of reaction, of defense, of lack. You are declaring through your action that the world's narrative is more important than your own. But there is another way. You are declaring that your state of being is more important than any external demand. You are prioritizing the quality of your consciousness over the quantity of your actions. In those first few moments, allow your body to orient itself. Feel the weight of your body on the bed. Feel the air entering and leaving your lungs. Notice the light in the room without labeling it. This is not wasted time. It is the most invested time of your entire day. It is the time you spend sharpening your blade. A woodsman would never consider tackling a forest with a dull blade. He knows it would take 10 times the effort and yield a fraction of the result. He honors the work by first honoring the tool. You are the woodsman and the tool. Your mind, your spirit, your body. This is the instrument through which you will create your day. To use it without sharpening, it is a profound disservice to yourself and to the work you are here to do. This practice of morning stillness is the sharpening stone. As you sit in quietude, you are smoothing away the microscopic bursts of sleep, the residual frictions of yesterday's struggles. You are aligning the edge of your will with the purpose of your soul. You are honing your awareness to a razor's sharpness so that when you do move, your actions will be clean, precise, and effective. A sharp blade moves through wood with ease and grace. It does not struggle. A mind that has been sharpened by stillness moves through the day with the same ease and grace. It cuts through confusion with clarity. It severs distractions with focus. It does not waste its energy on pointless friction because its edge is so fine and its aim so true. This stillness is not a passive state. It is an active gathering of power. It is the drawing back of the bowstring before the arrow is released. The longer and more steadily you can draw it back, the farther and more accurately your arrow will fly. Those 5 minutes of sitting, of breathing, of gentle stretching, of feeling your body come online, not as a machine to be driven, but as a sacred instrument to be tuned, are what determine whether you will master your day or whether your day will master you. You are setting the trajectory. From stillness comes power. From silence comes direction. From peace comes an effectiveness that hustle can never imitate, building inner strength in just 10 minutes. We have been sold a lie about strength. We believe it is built in grand gestures, in Herculean efforts, in monumental acts of will that reshape our lives in a single afternoon. We look at the mountain of our aspirations and feel overwhelmed because we think we must climb it in one relentless superhuman sprint. This belief is the cause of most failure, for it makes the task seem so immense that we never even take the first step. We wait for the perfect moment for a vast reservoir of energy and motivation that never comes. But true strength, the kind that is unshakable and enduring, is not built this way. It is woven, it is constructed thread by thread, moment by moment in the small, seemingly insignificant spaces of your life. It is built in increments of time, so small that the resistance of the world overlooks them entirely. 10 minutes in the morning is one of these spaces. It is a pocket of time that belongs entirely to you before the world has laid its claims upon your attention. To use this time with purpose is not a small act. It is the foundational act of building a fortress of inner strength that will stand against any storm that they may bring. This is not about adding another burdensome routine to your life. It is about infusing a brief period with a powerful intention. The form it takes is secondary. The primary thing is the conscious decision to commandeer that time for your own alignment. You may choose to breathe with awareness for 10 minutes, feeling the life force circulate through you, affirming with each breath that you are filled with power and peace. You may choose to stretch gently, not as a workout, but as a loving conversation with your body, unlocking the physical vessel so that energy can flow freely without obstruction. Or you may choose to plant a seed in the fertile soil of your subconscious through a simple, softly spoken intention. A phrase like today, "I will be calm and focused," or "I move through my day with ease and grace," repeated, not with strain but with a quiet feeling of already being so, is incredibly potent. This is not empty affirmation, it is conscious creation. You are speaking a word of command into the atmosphere of your own life. You are drafting the blueprint for your coming hours. These 10 minutes are a tithe on your day. They are a sacred offering of time that returns to you a hundredfold in the currency of clarity and strength. People believe discipline is a harsh taskmaster, but true discipline is the highest form of self-love. It is the act of consistently choosing what is good for your soul over what is easy for your habits. And this discipline is built in these tiny, consistent daily acts, certain daily acts. Each morning that you choose to spend these 10 minutes with purpose, you are depositing a coin into the bank of your inner strength. One coin seems like nothing, but over days, weeks, and months, these coins compound with immense interest. Soon you have a vast fortune of resilience to draw upon. When a challenge arises at 10 in the morning, you will not be drawing from an empty account. You will be drawing from the abundance you created at 6. That challenging meeting, that difficult conversation, that unexpected problem, you will meet it not from a place of depletion, but from a reservoir of strength that you built just for that moment. You will find a calmness and a focus that seems supernatural to others. But to you, it is simply the dividend paid out on the small, consistent investments you made in the quiet of the morning. The 10 minutes themselves are not the strength. They are the forge in which the strength is built. It is a daily ritual of self-empowerment that proves the grandest changes are always built from the smallest, most consistent beginnings. The hidden link between night and morning discipline. To believe that the day begins with the ringing of an alarm is to misunderstand the fundamental rhythm of life itself. This perspective sees time as a series of disconnected segments, isolated boxes on a calendar. Each morning, a blank slate wiped clean by the mere act of unconsciousness. But life is not a series of isolated events. It is a continuous flowing current, an unbroken stream of cause and effect where the ending of one moment is the beginning of the next. Nowhere is this divine continuity more evident and more crucial than in the hidden sacred dialogue between your night and your morning. These are not two separate kingdoms divided by the mode of sleep. They are one contiguous landscape. The evening is the soil and the morning is the harvest. You cannot plant seeds of distraction, anxiety, and mental clutter in the fertile darkness of the night and then expect to reap a harvest of focus, peace, and clarity with the first light of dawn. The harvest is always determined by the quality of the seed. This is the immutable law that operates silently behind the scenes of your life. Your ability to command your morning to rise with intention and purpose is not born in the morning itself. It is conceived the night before. It is the direct and inevitable offspring of how you chose to complete your day. The word preaches a gospel of morning discipline. It glorifies the early riser, the person who leaps out of bed to conquer a massive to-do list before the sun has risen. And while there is power in the early hours, this focus on the morning alone is like praising the flower while ignoring the root from which it springs. A flower cannot bloom without a healthy root system drawing nutrients from the soil in the dark. Similarly, your morning brilliance cannot manifest without a root system of nightly preparation drawing from the quiet wisdom of the night. To attempt a disciplined morning after a chaotic night is an act of profound spiritual strain. It is like trying to build a magnificent palace on a foundation of sand. You may erect a beautiful facade for a short while, but the first storm of the day will reveal the fundamental instability beneath it. The stress of a difficult email, the frustration of a traffic jam, the anxiety of a looming deadline. These are the storms that will easily topple a structure built on the shaky ground of an unprepared night. True strength, the kind that is unshakable and resilient, is built from the ground up. It begins with the conscious, deliberate act of preparing the foundation each and every night. This preparation is the highest form of self-respect. It is the act of putting your own consciousness to bed with the same care you would show a cherished child. You would not read a child terrifying stories or allow them to watch disturbing images right before sleep. You would sing a gentle song, read a peaceful story, and create an atmosphere of safety and love, knowing that this atmosphere will shape their dreams and their waking mood. You must offer this same tenderness to your own soul. The last thoughts you think, the final images you allow into your mind, the ultimate feeling you cultivate in your heart as you drift into sleep. These are the stories you are telling your subconscious. This is the lullaby you are singing to your spirit. Your subconscious mind, which never sleeps, accepts these offerings as absolute truth and sets about the work of making them real in your experience. If your final offering is one of worry, your subconscious will work through the night to find more things for you to worry about. If your final offering is one of peace and completion, your subconscious will work to bring you circumstances that reflect that peace. The morning simply reveals which project your inner mind was working on all night. Therefore, the discipline of the morning is actually born in the surrender of the night. It is the beautiful paradoxical truth that to have control over your day, you must first relinquish control over your night. You must surrender the need to replay and resolve the day's problems. You must release the illusion that your worrying will somehow affect the outcome. This surrender is not passivity. It is the ultimate act of truth. It is the conscious decision to hand over the reins to a higher wisdom within you, knowing that it can orchestrate solutions and provide rest in ways your frantic conscious mind cannot comprehend. This act of nightly surrender is the inhale. The discipline-focused action of the morning is the exhale. You cannot have one without the other. A deep, fulfilling inhale naturally produces a strong, effective exhale. A shallow tense inhale results in a weak insufficient exhale. The night is where you draw in the divine breath of peace, perspective and restoration. The morning is where you exhale that breath into the world as purposeful action, clear thought and calm effectiveness. To try to exhale without first inhaling is impossible. To try to have a powerful morning without first having a peaceful night is equally futile. The rhythm is everything. The discipline does not start with the alarm clock. It starts with the conscious decision hours before to complete the day with intention to release what is done and to trust that the night will bring its own perfect kind of healing. This is the hidden link. This is the secret rhythm. When you honor the connection, you align yourself with the natural order of things, and your life begins to flow with an ease and a power that feels less like you are building it and more like you are allowing it to blossom from a source of infinite strength within you. If you commit to this practice 10 minutes at night to release, 10 minutes in the morning to focus, you will notice a shift. At first, it would be small, feeling a little lighter, a little less reactive. Then deeper changes emerge. You navigate stress with more grace. You move through challenges with clarity and you start to feel that you are directing your life, not just reacting to it. True transformation rarely comes from giant leap. It comes from small daily rituals that rewire thinking from the inside out. 20 minutes a day is enough to change the direction of your life. So remember this, your night writes the script for your morning and your morning writes the script for your day. 10 minutes before bed to let go of today, 10 minutes after waking to claim tomorrow. These aren't wasted minutes. They are the most powerful moments of your day. And when you use them with purpose, you build a life of clarity, strength, and peace. You move through challenges with a different kind of strength when you begin to approach life with clarity. Instead of reacting to everything that comes your way, you start to direct your energy with intention. That shift doesn't happen through one dramatic decision. It happens through small, consistent rituals that slowly rewire your thoughts, reshape your perspective, and realign your actions. True transformation is built in the moments most people overlook. The little choices, the daily habits, the way you start and end your day. Just 20 minutes can set the entire course of your life in a new direction. Think about it. Your night writes the script for your morning, and your morning writes the script for your day. 10 minutes before bed to release the weight of today through reflection, journaling, or simply breathing deeply creates peace for your mind. 10 minutes after waking to claim tomorrow by setting an intention, moving your body, or practicing gratitude builds momentum and strength. These aren't wasted minutes, they're investments in the person you're becoming. When you use them with purpose, you train your mind for focus, your heart for resilience, and your spirit for peace. Over time, these rituals create a life of clarity, balance, and unstoppable growth.